Modoops. Hello, Amaechi. Hi. Edna. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Hi, Amaechi.
Hello.
How are you this evening?
The evening is fantastic. It's Father's Day, so I'm getting a whole bunch of calls, and I'm loving everyone.
Happy Father's
Thank
Day. Excellent. So, good evening, everyone. You're welcome to episode 3 of Momversations. And what is Momversations? You all know Momversations is having conversations with mothers, actually, mothers from all walks of life about different things, different topics pertaining to parenting, to family, lifestyle and things. At the event Nanny, we are very family oriented. And today being Father's Day, we decided to do Momversations Dad's Edition. And then we have the pleasure of having Amaechi Okobi, Mr. Amaechi Okobi, who has graciously agreed to come on, and share his perspective on fatherhood and living by example. So let me just do a very, very little introduction on who Amaechi Okobi is. So Amaechi Okobi is one you will call your image maker. Yes, he's an image maker. So he's the head for communications. He's a group head communications and external affairs for one of Nigeria's foremost financial institution, Access Bank to be precise, even though they didn't give me money to do this advert. However, I mean, he's a brand expert, he's a communication expert, but he's coming as Daddy today on Momversations. He's coming to share his perspective as a father and leading by example. I don't want to talk too much. I don't want to take too much of your time. So because, like I told you, Amaechi, people are expectant. They've even said when I introduce you, I should say, here's the thing. And why do they say here's the thing? Because if you go on Twitter, if you follow Amaechi on Twitter, so before he tweets anything, he goes, here's the thing. And then on Instagram, he always tells 2 stories. His posts. Each time he posts anything, so anytime Amaechi posts something, you will glean one thing or the other from his post. And he's always, telling 2 stories. So he will tell like a prelude, and then he will go, but that's not the story. And then he goes to the real story. Very interesting, But what has endeared me to Amaechi is actually you can tell that he's one who values the family unit. And, getting it right with the family, you get it right with society. I don't want to talk too much. Amaechi, yes. It's a conversation. It's not an interview.
I was starting to wonder about you, but yes, it's just a conversation. We're 2 friends chatting.
All right. So happy Father's Day to you, Amaechi, and happy Father's Day to all the men out there, all the men who are doing their very best to raise wholesome children. So Amaechi, tell us, what is it that people, what is it that we don't know about you, that people don't really know about you? A lot of people have probably gone to Google you. Who is this Amaechi Okobi that Funmi is bringing up? So tell us about yourself.
What people don't know about me, I don't know, because on Instagram I'm pretty open with quite a lot of stuff. But I work at a bank. I work at the bank, Access Bank. I am a marketing practitioner. I love marketing. I love communication. I do that. I'm a cyclist. I love cycling. Cycling gives me peace. It gives me joy. And in the crazy, stressful world we find ourselves, you need to have some kind of an outlet to pour all your issues onto. So cycling does that. And it also keeps me fit, which I like. I would love to live till I'm 100, and exercise is a way to do that.
Oh, nice.
But most importantly, I'm a father. I'm a dad. And I love that job. That is my most important job. Yes, I work at a great bank. Yes, I cycle. Yes, I do other things, but the responsibility that God places in you to raise wholesome children is one that shouldn't be taken lightly. So that is the favorite part of me, is just raising my amazing sons.
Excellent. So,
yes,
Amaechi, tell us about your childhood. You know, recall when I was just in the, I was telling you about how some of us didn't have very, very fantastic childhood when it comes to, you know, having our dad present, you know. So you tell us, you know, you being who you are today, this grand guru that we see, you know, your childhood, has it shaped you to who you are today?
Definitely.
Tell us, I mean.
So my parents are amazing. They let us be, they let us explore, but they also checked us when we went wrong. I'm blessed with amazing siblings that also made my childhood fun. So mom worked for the government, dad worked as a consultant.
Okay.
So we had each other when they were busy. But the interesting thing is that back then, mom always sent a car to get us from school. We'll go to her office, we'll hang out there, do our homework. So mom was very present. Dad would, so dad left early in the morning to go to work. When he came back from work, he would go play squash and he would go running. And I remember he would come back home and he's soaked in sweat and obviously exhausted, but we would jump on him with all his sweat, nasty, gross sweat. But we would jump on him and play with him and hang out with him and take turns punching him in the stomach and all kinds of stuff, right? So dad was larger than life. Dad was our hero. So it was a great childhood, incredible, phenomenal memories with both of them, just doing their thing to make sure that we had well-rounded, wholesome lives. We weren't spoiled. I mean, make no mistake. When I misbehaved, I got spanked proper. So that wasn't an issue. But they loved us, and we knew that they loved us, and it was just awesome. That is great.
Excellent. So what naughty thing did you do?
Tell me
what naughty thing did you do?
It's
you know,
plenty.
you were much younger. What kind of punishment did your dad give you?
So
okay, you know why
yes,
I'm
tell me.
Sorry to cut you short. Now, I have a friend who said that growing up, I mean, if their dad, if they heard the car horn of their dad coming, you understand? They would run.
Of course.
They didn't have, you know, so
right.
I mean, that has really, I think it actually impacted negatively on him, because it was like the moment their dad enters into the house, you can hear a pin drop, literally drop, you know. So, but from what you said, it's not really like that, really. But was your dad strict when he needed to be strict? So tell me what naughty thing that you did.
When we were kids, right? The rule was go outside and play, or go have fun, do all these things, but be back before the street lights came on. Of course, we had street lights there, and they were like clockwork. And I think they came on around maybe 6 or 6:30, something like that. So one day, I go cycling with some friends of ours, and I'm riding, and we knew the lights would catch us outside. We just knew this. So let's say it was 6:30. In my mind, I just thought, okay, well, you know what? It's 6:30. I'm going to get a flogging. So instead I'm going to get a flogging, let me just make it worthwhile. Let me just really, really get down and dirty. And we stayed out till close to 7:30. In my mind, I'm thinking, because how bad is it going to be? But 7:30 is not that you didn't come home at 7:30. 7:30 is that dad and mom got in a car and are driving around looking for us. So their thing was not be home before 6:30 and that's it. By 6:45, they're worried. In your small mind, you're not thinking these things. 7:30, they came out, they saw us on the road. First of all, yelled at the other kids, because, you know, parenting is that you also have responsibility towards the other kids because you know their parents. So if my mom saw a friend of mine whose mom she knew misbehaving, she would slap the hell out of him and say, no, I'm doing what I know your mother would do to my son. So as far as we're out here, I am your mother today. So dad came out of the car, and of course, you first try to outrun the car, and you're like, I know that car, LZ 4080, Jesus Christ. So you take off. So of course, they caught up to us, and the beating started there and then. Say, look at the time.
Are you serious?
Horrible. You now get home and see my my parents are amazing because dad took out his anger, frustration. How could you stress us like that? Did all these things and properly tanned my hide. But after the beating, my mom will now come and say, but you know what you did was wrong. You make us worry. Meanwhile, she was there encouraging the beating, or she was fully on board. But the other parents had to come in and just kind of make things better. But I remember that. I remember we used to have brunch every Sunday after church. My siblings, we would, after church, on the way to, I think it was either Federal Palace back then or somewhere, or Ikoyi Hotel, we would stop and get newspapers, Punch, New Nigeria, like four papers or 5 papers. And my dad would give me a newspaper, my sister newspaper, and my brother newspaper, and have us read the headlines while he drove to brunch. So we would all read the headline, and he would ask us what we think this headline means. And of course, you mumble something that was the best of your ability, and he would actually engage with trying to tell you what it was, how to pronounce the ministers' names or whoever it was that you were talking about back then. And today, well, not today because we're in COVID-19, but when my son and I go have brunch, we get papers. I hand it to him, and he reads the headlines. So you kind of pass these things on, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Oh, excellent, excellent.
So
That's
happy,
so
incredible
so
childhood,
now,
incredible.
that's very good. So now you are a father.
I am.
You know, you are a dad. So would you say that your parenting style is close to, your parents' own, or I mean, we're now in the digital age. Things are different. Now, you said something back in the days. Your mom would tell you that you know what, if she sees another child misbehaving, she could, give that child a high.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You can, and that speaks to having a village raising
Absolutely.
a child. Can we do that today? Can we still do that today?
You see, so I have my friends, right? And I know many of their kids. I will do it, but I do it with the knowledge that my friend will be okay with that, because if he or she isn't able to do that, it's where you just said a village raises a kid, right? It's not just the parents' responsibility; it's everyone's responsibility, because if these kids come out badly, it impacts the community.
On the
So
society.
thank you. So
Absolutely.
it definitely is my responsibility. So if I see my son's kid misbehaving, oh no, I will get him and then tell his father and his mother that this is what I did. So a lot of times when I'm either cussing him out or slapping somebody, slaps are good because it punishes and it humiliates in front of no, I'm serious. So I will do the slaps and I'll tell him, you better tell your dad this is what happened, because I will. Because you hear them saying, I'll tell my daddy. I'm like, I want you to tell your dad because I'm gonna. So it's our responsibility. We owe it to us, definitely.
So what's your own parenting style? Authoritarian, permissive?
There isn't one style, I don't think, right? You kind of do a mix and match depending on the situation you find yourself, right? So there are times when I'll say to my son, because I said so, and there's no discussion, no explanation, no nothing. He doesn't like it because he wants to kind of have dialogue. And I remind him, listen, when I was your age, when my dad said this was it, this was it. When grandpa was my age or your age, there was no conversation. It wasn't about, well, I don't like how you make me feel. So I remind him. But there are times when he and I want to have conversations. So he behaves badly. And I say, you know what? 9 times out of 10, I'm proud of you. But this thing you did, I just don't understand why you would do it. This is not you. And you can drive him to tears by telling him how disappointed you are. And
you are.
And you know that he goes away thinking, I don't want to disappoint my dad or myself again. So the effect is the same. That whole panel beating of your children, I'm against that, Slaps, I'm okay with, but
Slaps. To reset the brain, right?
Completely. So these things are really key. But you cannot have only one style. It's not going to happen. It just won't happen. You know.
I totally agree.
And
totally
kids
agree.
also will get used to the beatings. So like, you know what, come and beat me. Just beat me and get over with. No, that's not what you're looking for. You want him to reflect on what he or she did wrong. And the only way you can do that is through, let's call it psychological warfare. You have to employ that. Yeah, it's not just.
Do you want to drill down on psychological warfare, please? You want to drill down on that?
Okay, so my son, for example, the last thing he wants to hear is that I am so disappointed in you. He doesn't like that at all. So I use it sparingly, but when I do, he takes it very seriously because you're doing something that you know is wrong, and you get caught. Like there was a day he lied to me, and I caught him in the lie, and I was like, this breaks my heart. I have never lied to you, and I never will, because I trust that you can handle whatever I'm telling you, no matter how good or bad or hurtful it might be. But I always say the truth. That's trust. So I trust you to do the same for me. But when you lie to me, it just crushes my this boy started crying. It was crazy. So and that's more impactful than you lie to me, I'm gonna beat the hell out of you today. No.
Out of you, absolutely. No, so you have conversation with him after.
Yeah. But that's for me. It may not work for everybody, you know. So.
I know. I mean, the thing is, we're here to talk about you and your own parenting style, you know, and what has worked for you. So yeah, it's okay. That's fine. So now you know you are this big oga at this big financial institution.
I don't like it though. I'm just we'll talk about this big oga for 1 second, and then we'll go back to normal conversation. I work with an amazing bunch of people. They do the work. I just take the credit. So they do the work. No, there's no big oga. It's me and my team, me and my family doing work. So the big oga thing, I forget it.
Excellent. So I was actually going to ask you, you know, there's no how your schedule can be. I mean, I'm very sure that you know, your schedule, you have a very, very busy schedule. So how do you balance being a father, an involved father, a dad that is not MIA, a dad that is there, present, you know, in the lives of his children?
Yeah. So
how do you balance it?
It's very, very hard. It's very hard indeed. But so my son is in boarding school. Before he was in boarding school, he was in primary school. And I would call him every night at 8 p.m. because sometimes I'd be working at 8 p.m. And I call him and we say our prayers together. So it's our Father, he says, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom. You know, and we say our prayers before he goes to bed. It's every night. So if I'm in a meeting, I step out, I pick up my phone, I call him, blah, blah, blah. So we do that. Secondly, because of my schedule and my and being away, whenever I'm with him, it's 100%. So we're not on the phone, we're not reading text messages, he has 100% of my time. Pata 95, but definitely he has me fully engaged because I know that a lot of times I won't be there. So that I also do. When we talk, I actually listen. I actually engage, whether it's a telephone call or it's an in-person call. I actually want to hear what he has to say because kids, and he's 13 now, right? So kids are not the most expressive. So when they say something like, Daddy, I have a question, you gotta prick up your ear and say, okay, what's going on? So I give him time when I can. But do I have to work? Do we all have to work? Absolutely. And I hope that they understand. And if anything, it teaches them the value of hard work. It teaches them the value of passion for something.
Hard work.
You know, so it teaches them that. But he's been to my office a couple of times, so he sees it. He's met my boss. He's met my colleagues. So he knows what I'm doing when I'm not home. Additionally, you have siblings, and he has cousins who are also there to support. But the tough schedule thing is
excellent. Awesome.
Life.
That's good. So how have you, online schooling, tell me, have you been involved with online schooling?
I'm not ashamed to say it. online schooling is kicking my butt. First of all,
Your
their homework and what they need to do is complex. I'm like, this is like new math, right? It's crazy. So that's a problem. Secondly, I've taken several courses online. It's a lot of reading. You're not fully engaged. We're human beings. We want to kind of interface. I want to see you, touch you, you know? So I don't like it.
Absolutely.
I don't like it, right? But I have to do it. So I'm sure he doesn't like it. And he comes and he complains.
Right.
And the schools have given them a bunch of homework. They keep them engaged because there's a lot happening with COVID-19, which is where this whole online schooling thing came from, I imagine, right? So it's tough. It's hard. And nothing kills me more than when I get a call from one of his teachers. Chinedu hasn't signed in yet. Now, I'm in my room or my office doing my work, and I go into the room and he's in bed. I'm like, yo, it's 8:15. You're supposed to have registered. He will look, he's like, oh, yeah. Because he's up late, and this is another demonic problem. He's up late on Fortnite. He's on Fortnite.
Up late doing what?
Yes,
Playing games?
He's playing games with people in DC, for example, right? So he's up and he's doing this thing,
Ooh.
Nepa up Nepa. And with you, we'll just keep talking. You know, the thing about Nigeria is that when they take power, you just gotta keep going. You don't even stop. You just keep going. But anyway, so he's always on the computer.
Oh my
and my big fear was, okay, I needed to understand that the internet can be a great thing, but it can also be very dangerous. You have people that are on there looking to prey on young children. You have people that they have a photograph of a child, but they're grown men in prison, for example. So he and I have those talks all the time because I cannot be there to monitor his online use. I'm at work. He's in school. You go, you know. So it's heavy prayer and dry fasting.
Prayer, right? So tell me, what kind of values, I mean, are important to you? You know, you mentioned their presence online right now. Have you had talks with him? So Amaechi has a teenager, guys. So for those who don't and in fact, someone actually told me yesterday, and she was like, "Funmi, you need to get somebody who can come and talk to us about teenagers. I don't see my son anymore. I don't see him. He's always inside in the room." And I said, I'm facing the same thing. You know, he's always inside in the room on his, either they're on the phone or in front of what do you call it, playing their video games. So she's thinking, how do I engage this my teenager? So you tell me, first and foremost, you know, I like what you just said now. Have you spoken to him about the positives and negatives of online and the things you watch online?
Every day. You must every day because he's quick to tell you, oh, Daddy, I forgot. No, you can't forget. So I hammer it in every day. Because the first thing I said to him was, on no circumstance do you ever tell someone online your address, number one. Number two, you never tell anyone or agree to meet anybody online, offline. You're not meeting anybody. And you and I will have our fights. I will punish you. I will do the But don't let anybody tell you, oh, your dad doesn't understand you, but you know, let me be your friend. I'll talk. No. You don't meet ever. So that one I hammer down every single day. Because on Fortnite, you're playing games with sometimes strangers. And they're not all 13, 14-year-olds. You have some adults who are on Fortnite that will send you skins and send you these little things that you have to pay for. Because he tells me that, okay, he wants me to give him V-Bucks to buy Fortnite skins and different things on Fortnite. And sometimes I do, other times I do not. But you have a guy online that tells you, oh, I'm going to give you £1,000 worth of V-Bucks to do it. That's all temptation. That's crazy. So I'm learning about Fortnite because that's the language he speaks. He has a YouTube.
That's the language.
Yes. You know, so if you don't know it, you can't relate to your kids. He doesn't so he has a YouTube page where he posts games and the activity. So you can record a Fortnite session where you go and post it. For me, boring as hell, but I'm following him because I want to see what he's doing. So I have his YouTube password. I have his Snapchat password.
Okay.
This guy told me he wants to be on Instagram because he wants to follow me. Because when we go out, people say, oh, you know you're famous. Your dad talks about you all the time.
You on Instagram?
Yes, yes, yes. So when I said you can, I swear to God, I felt like I handed him a pipe of crystal meth because fear, you're afraid. So I have his password for Instagram. We've agreed that if I go on there and I see anything I shouldn't see, I'll take it away and I'll take a computer and all that.
Good.
But I think with this, there has to be a trust between you two. And you must communicate your fears, right? In 2020,
yes.
the era of because I said so. No, these kids are smart. These kids, I mean, you educate them, right? So they're intelligent. So because I said so just doesn't work. You have to say because A, B, C, D, E until he gets it. And when he gets it, then he will imbibe it. And that's my approach because, man, I am afraid every day.
Excellent.
Are you sure?
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah, not excellent too.
Trust me, I'm sure we're all afraid. Every parent here cannot tell me that they're not afraid, you know, of parenting in this age, in this era. You know, the vices that they have to deal with, you know, today is so. In fact,
brand new.
We do
brand
need
new
the grace
problems we never thought about when we were kids. When I was 13, the biggest issue is my grades. The online bullying. What is that? I mean. They're different times now. So I talk to him. I tell him why I'm afraid that this is what's happening, and it would crush me dead if anything happened to him. So he knows that, but I tell him every day, gotta. And this is both my kids, but my second son is 4, so he's not there yet. But to this 13-year-old, he knows.
I like that. Communicate your fears. I really like that.
You can't be afraid to.
I mean,
you can't be afraid to. They understand so much more than you think they do. They're not kids, really.
They do.
And better he hears it from you than from school.
Than anyone else.
Yeah. So.
Excellent. Excellent. So what values are important to you, Amaechi? And how have you, you know, passed on those values to at least to teenagers?
Well, so the most important thing for me to pass to him is kindness. I'm all about being kind, definitely. So when he shows kindness, I reward him. When I can show him that I'm kind, I definitely take the opportunity. So kindness is key. Dedication, passion, love, have an interest in something other than school or work or whatever it is, so that you're well-rounded. No fear for hard work. Hard work doesn't kill anybody. So I want him to get that. I want an honest human being. Stand by your word. I often tell him why I hate when you lie to me is that, let's say, so there was a scandal in some school that we won't mention some time ago about kids going onto porn sites, right? These are 13, 14, 15-year-olds going to porn sites. They suspended and expelled a bunch of kids. So he and I were talking about it. And I said to him, now imagine if you and I have a relationship where you never, ever lie to me. And there's a scandal. And they round up a whole bunch of kids, including you, because maybe you're in the room. I would ask you, Chinedu, this thing they said you did you do it? If you look me in the eye and tell me, no, you didn't, then I will go to bat for you. I will fight anybody and say, no. There were other kids doing porn, but my son has told me he did not do it, and I'll go to the bank with it. That's the importance of the honesty. So I tell him why honesty pays. So that I teach him. Honesty, hard work, passion for something, kindness, love. It's an everyday conversation. It doesn't have to be like a lesson or a teaching, but just the way you interact with him, he sees these things and leading by example. So I try to be good, because I know he's watching. I'm not going to yell at a waiter in a restaurant. I'm not going to get upset at a hotel clerk. I'm not going to raise hell at an airport when we're traveling because my flight is delayed. It's not the person's fault. So you're not going to, I'm a big man. No, you're not going to do any of those things. And because he's watching and he's picking it up all the time.
He's watching, absolutely.
Yeah. So if your kid is,
okay, so
gone.
Okay. Let me use myself as an example.
Please do.
Now, because I want to ask, how do we balance, and I want you to tell me, give me an example, if you can, how do we balance, moral values, life skills, formal education? I give you one example. So I grew up with my grandmother, and my mom also was a single parent, so she had to fend for 4 children all by herself. And I recall that back in the days, yes, when I was much, much younger, as far back as secondary school, so when we were on holiday, my mom would actually, so she used to fumigate, So she would take my brother, the one immediately after me, and myself along with her. I will not lie to you. So, and my grandmom also would take me out for certain contracts that she would get from NPA and things like that. I learned to be street smart by following my parents, my mom, and then my mom also had a supermarket back then in those days.
She was a hustler.
And
she was a hustler.
Holiday. She was a hustler.
Awesome.
She was a hustler.
And little kids pick that up though. Little kids see that.
Children, she was a hustler and she did a good job, So I would go with her to the supermarket, and I would do stock taking. I would go with her to the market, to Okeari, to go and buy things, So I learned some life skills. Today, our children, they're being sheltered so much, and due to no fault of theirs, it's because of the society. So how can we, I don't know, how are you dealing with Chinedu? Are you able to teach him to be street smart? Because you need to see, it's not just about being book smart, you also need to be street smart. How can we balance that?
As best you can, I remember one day I was taking him to school, and I think he was maybe 8 or 9 at that point. And as we're driving, you see these kids that live in wherever they live, right? You see a 7-year-old, 8-year-old towing his or her younger 4-year-old.
Yep,
they're
absolutely.
Crossing the street. They're doing their thing. They're fully independent. Meanwhile, here I am. I can't let you cross the street by himself. So you have to kind of one, you have to trust God and give them little bite-sized pieces, because you must. If you shelter them from AC car to AC office to AC school, and you don't let them see the tough part of life, the more difficult aspect of life, you're doing them a disservice, because those tough times will come. And the kid from wherever, and no disrespect to people that are from there, live there, those kids have the advantage. So your kid could be all A's, but so what? How is he surviving in a room full of sharks? So you have to just try. And I'm coping and I'm managing and I'm just kind of trying. But it's not easy, because you're afraid. You still think it's a pretty bad place sometimes, this world. So you're not as trusting. You might say, okay, you and the driver go and do this. Then it's small by small. It's small by small, but it's tough. It's tough. Before you ask me another question, Catherine Bickerstep, CB, I hail you. She said, has raising kids made me better? And this doesn't mean that I'll be answering questions, though, but I love Catherine. It has made me better because you have to be better. Raising kids teaches you about sacrifice and love for someone other than yourself. So being a father is just, it's amazing, and it takes you somewhere else. It's beautiful. Okay, that's my Catherine Bickerstep question and answer. Please continue. She's an adorable woman. I'm just gotta put it out there. She's awesome.
Oh, thank you, Catherine, for coming on. Okay, so what advice would you give, Amaechi? Okay, so now this morning I was thinking, we have fathers well, I'm wondering why are fathers MIA in the lives of their
Mothers
children,
too. Mothers
and I
too.
was
Make no
thinking,
mistake. Mothers too can be
I
MIA.
I agree, I agree,
Or start
I
beating up on
agree, I
fathers.
agree.
Now rephrase your question. Rephrase your question. MIA fathers, are you doing?
Okay, let me try and
Yes.
rephrase. So fathers are meant to be lighthouses, show their children direction. They're also meant to be like anchors, And I'm thinking, so some fathers, could it be that, you said something, you wrote something in your post. You said, that what do you even know about fatherhood? That you're even afraid.
Every day.
And
I'm muddling through. I'm trying to
yeah,
figure it out every day. When you
every
called me, I
day,
said, come and talk to my
every
father. I'm
day,
like,
every
I'm nervous, so I was sitting here, I'm terrified, but carry on.
So, I mean, maybe fear that for some fathers that maybe they are also afraid, or maybe it could be their childhood that has impacted on them negatively, and and they're just not involved in the lives of their children as you expect them to be, or could it be that the mothers are also maybe not helping? So I want to, even though it's Father's Day, I want to ask you some things that maybe you've had to like struggle with Chinedu. Has Chinedu's mom maybe like how helped you? What, I think you should do it this way, Amaechi. I think you need to have a chat with him concerning this. Maybe you should approach it this way.
Okay, so sadly, Chinedu's mom and I are not together.
Yeah.
So to put that out there. But that notwithstanding, I have a lot of incredible women in my life, right?
Your life.
Completely.
Absolutely.
And it's phenomenal. I've been blessed in that regard. Beyond mom, sisters, Osai, Sumbo, Jody, the list is endless, right?
Shout out to
yes,
Osai.
no, I mean, these people are my warrior queens, right? But to go back to your initial question, because you have two questions, right? One about men being MIA sometimes and how you deal with issues when you're a single parent, quote unquote, right? Okay.
Yes.
So men being MIA, I blame society. I blame Nigeria. I blame role playing. For the longest time, the woman's position or role has been home carer, has been taking care of the children, has been let the man go out and work while the mother is at home with the kids. That has happened, right? So I went to my son's school one day, and I'm going to jump because I do. But I went to my son's school one day for a parent-teacher meeting, and they have all the kids coming to the assembly hall. And it's a teacher in front of you, and you and your kid sit and you talk to the teacher about his grades, and you go through his different classes, right? So I'm there in this school, and it is about, of the parents that were there, it's 80% mothers, 20% fathers.
Others.
Two things struck me. One, so I see a friend of mine. I said, "Come on, where's Oga?" And she goes, no, leave that one, no. His is just to pay the school fees. But she said this with, I'm okay with that. And I had a problem. I'm like, no.
Okay.
First of all, the school fees are not cheap. So I see it as an investment, right? I work in a bank. Any investment I make, I'm checking on every single day. If there's an online app to see how my investment is doing, I'm checking it. So yes, father paid the school fees, but you want to see how your investment is going. So that was my first problem. The second problem was that, but moms seem to be okay with it. So moms out there, you need to check your husband or your child's father and make sure he's playing a much stronger role, because from a purely selfish perspective, if you pay X amount of $1 million or pounds or whatever for school, and this kid fails out, your investment has gone to the toilet. So from that perspective alone,
Absolutely.
just make sure
Absolutely.
father comes in. Your child is your investment.
Absolutely.
Look into it. Now, there's some that
Your
say,
child
no,
is
no,
your
no, no,
investment.
no. I trust my wife. She's doing okay. No, that's lazy. It's a cop-out. A child needs both parents or both influences. I mean, and I know divorces happen, bereavement happens, the father could be dead, the wife could be dead. So all these things happen. You even have stepfather situation, stepmother situation, all of that. But if you're going to commit to this is my child, either as a step parent or as a single parent or as a one of two parents, if you're going to commit to that, and you committed by when you said, oh, that was awesome, and then 9 months from now you're pregnant, surprise, surprise. Once you make that commitment, do the right thing, because if you get it wrong, it'll come to bite you in the butt in so many different ways, and it's not just you. And men, when the family goes well, right? They often say, it's the woman. The woman holds the family down. But I promise you, when it goes badly, it's you. It's the man.
It's the woman.
So
Absolutely.
this child, so long as he has your name, if he goes wrong, they're going to blame you. So just do the right thing and be there. And I'm telling you, kids are amazing. Kids are awesome. And you learn and you become a better person and all that. And I get men are busy. I'm busy too. We're all working. All of this is happening. But kids are awesome. So just don't be MIA. That was question 1, right? I can push out. So question 2 was when the mother is not around, how do you cope? You just do. You just do. So your father, your mother, on Father's Day you go to his school. On Mother's Day you go to his school. You're doing both jobs. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. Okay, I'm done.
Excellent.
I'm done.
Is Chinedu ready?
Say again?
Is Chinedu around?
He's probably on Fortnite. So he and I just had dinner. I said, and I said
I was
to
going to
him,
ask him how
and I said to him,
you were.
I'm going upstairs. Come and meet me. Sure, Daddy, I'll come meet you. It's now 7:44. Nothing. Daddy, I forgot. So just hold on. We're in the same house and I'm calling him. Imagine that.
I like what someone said here. We choose to prioritize what's important to us, and our children are investments that should not even take second place at all. No. So tell us, what's your typical Friday night like, or Friday after work?
Pre-COVID or during COVID?
Okay, pre-COVID and during COVID, and then.
All right. So because of the fact that my son was in boarding school up until when COVID started, my Friday night was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll call him, but my Friday night was awesome because we work hard, and anyone will tell you, a banker's life is hard work. So when you let down, you let down properly. So Friday night after work, I go to Z Kitchen in Lagos, and we'll have a great meal, and friends come in and you hang out and all of that, right? That was pre-COVID. All that is dead now. That's all gone. So now it's me and this man in the house. So Friday night, we're playing Monopoly, we're talking, we're watching the news. So right now, we've been talking about slavery and what it meant, and Black Lives Matter and all these things. I always really appreciate when it comes to me with, I have a question, Daddy. First of all, it scares me always, but it means like he wants to learn something. And I'm able to talk to him about it. It's awesome. And then he said, Daddy, I enjoy that conversation. That just gives me immense joy. So we talk, and we play Monopoly. The last time we played, he won, and he's not a very graceful or gracious winner. He will hammer it down your throat that he beat you, and I hate that.
Awesome. I like that. I like the fact that you guys are bonding.
You have to.
So I mean, I don't want this thing to be 1 hour exactly because I don't want Instagram to cut us
Oh, is that
off,
what they do?
you know.
Oh,
So I want to
so
say,
we have like 14 minutes.
pardon?
Yeah. Okay, so hurry up. It's you that's talking. It's you that's talking too much.
You know you're the communicator,
That's
remember?
so.
This master.
That's so.
So there's this thing that I saw that, people had passed on. Perhaps you probably got it. It's a message, and I really liked it. And I want to quickly read it out to everyone who's listening here. It talks more about the role of the father, the role of both parents, actually. But let me just quickly read it. It says, one who loves till you close your eyes is a mother, and one who loves without an expression in his eyes is a father. Mother introduced you to the world, but father introduced the world to you.
Wow.
It says,
like that.
Okay, so out. Can you hear me?
I lost something. So I lost you at, but father introduced the world to you, and then you said something, and then I just saw a big circle of
Okay, so then mothers give you life. Mothers give you life, but fathers give you a living. Mothers make sure that you're not starving, but father makes sure that you know the value of starving.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. And then he says, mother personifies care, but father teaches you to get up from a fall. We know how to care,
Absolutely.
but the father will say, you
absolutely.
Get going. He says, mother teaches you walking, but father teaches you the walk of life. Mother teaches you from her own experience, but father teaches you to learn from your own experience.
Wow.
Mother reflects ideology, and father reflects reality. A mother's love is known to you since birth, but a father's love is known when you become a parent. This is the natural division of labor. Happy Father's Day. So to everyone out there, happy Father's Day.
That's awesome. That's
Amaechi, thank you so much. We really appreciate you.
Thank you.
And then we thank, shout out. Somebody just reminded me of the mothers who play both roles.
Yes.
So you see, we have it both ways. We have fathers who play both roles as mothers and fathers. We have mothers who also have the double honors of being mothers and fathers. So we say shout out to everyone.
You also have stepfathers who stepped in when the father stepped out. Stepfathers are also very important. Definitely.
Absolutely. Even grandfathers.
Oh,
I actually have, I know of people who their grandparents were the parents that, that helped raise the children. So we have grandparents. And I'm sure, Amaechi, you're probably parents to so many, because I'm sure you have a lot of young people, your nephews, your nieces, that you're also, you're showing the example. So thank you so much on behalf of all mothers.
Thank you so much.
We also say thank you to you. Thank you to all the fathers there. Thank you to mothers who are doing, playing the role of both fathers and mothers. You guys are awesome. You're awesome. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Have a fantastic evening.
Thank you
for joining Momversations. So see you next week.
Thank you so much,
Amaechi.
Thank you. God bless you all. Thank you.
And regards to Chinedu and Kana.
When I find him and when I find them, yes. Blessing.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.